Okay, now, like I said in my video yesterday regarding Jack Della Maddalena, I feel like it's right for me to also dispel a lot of the negative narratives regarding Islam Makhachev. Because although I'm rooting for JDM, I feel like a lot of JDM fans are discrediting Makhachev any opportunity they get, and I just want to dispel all of those rumors and actually prop up Islam Makhachev because I'm not one of these delusional people that like don't know that Islam Makhachev is good. Like I know he's the pound for pound number one fighter for a reason. So I'm gonna just go over all of the false misinformation that a lot of these fans have put out regarding Islam Makhachev and just break them down and explain why all of them are false. Okay, the first one I want to address, all right, Islam Makhachev only fought short notice opponents. Okay, now are a lot of Makhachev's opponents on short notice? Because for some reason, a lot of Makhachev opponents seem to pull out last second. Yes, that is true. But at the same time, what about Charles Oliveira? That is how Islam Makhachev got the belt in the first place. And yes, I can cope about the fact that how the UFC did Charles Oliveira dirty. There was a whole controversy regarding like the half a pound weigh-in miss, um, in the previous fight with Charles Oliveira versus Justin Gaethje, and they took away Charles Oliveira's belt. Like I can make that excuse and cope about it, but at the end of the day, both of these guys were on a full training camp. Both of them fought, and Islam Makhachev dismantled Charles Oliveira. Right, not just in the striking, where he was able to get his counterpunching off and drop Charles Oliveira. He also submitted Charles Oliveira. Submission over the greatest submission artist in UFC history. I think that is a statement to be made. So I don't want people to keep saying that Islam Makhachev's title reign consists of only short notice opponents. All right, you can even argue in the Volkanovski first fight that which we'll get to in a second. That was on a full training camp, and I'm gonna also break that one down because there's another narrative regarding Islam Makhachev versus Alexander Volkanovski one. All right, now the next one I need to dispel. Alexander Volkanovski won the first fight. Right, that is just cope, right? Now, sure, Volkanovski was doing a great job of scrambling against Islam Makhachev, and while Islam Makhachev was able to get the takedowns at times, he was not really close to getting a submission. And you could say, oh, Volkanovski was in the winning at the end of the fight. Like Makhachev still won at least 3 rounds. All right, like, and I'm being generous with 3 rounds. Like, you could argue that the first round could have gone to Volkanovski, but not really. Like, outside of that, I thought that Islam Makhachev clearly won at least rounds 2, 3, and 4. So, I don't want people to keep saying that Volkanovski should have won the first fight. He got tested by a featherweight. Like, that happens to be the greatest featherweight of all time during his prime. So, Islam Makhachev, if anything, I think this was an impressive win. Was it a statement performance that everyone was expecting? Because most people thought that Islam Makhachev was gonna run through Volkanovski within, like, 2 rounds? No. But the fact that he was able to go the distance with Volkanovski, and yes, he did look bad in the 5th round, but Volkanovski's known for the cardio. And I don't think Islam Makhachev, just because you lose the 5th round, to Volkanovski, means he has bad cardio. So, at the end of the day, yes, he took him to a decision. Yes, it was competitive, but Islam Makhachev clearly won the fight. All right, now up next we got Hook Old Man Dustin Poirier in the 5th round, and arguably could have lost a couple of rounds. All right, now this is an excuse I like to use initially because I am a huge fan of Dustin Poirier, and this is why I know this. All right, like I know cope. All right, I know people who are coping about the fact that Islam Makhachev took Dustin Poirier to the 5th round because I used to talk about that all the time. Oh, old man Poirier almost got him in the 4th. Like, no, like he outstriking Islam Makhachev in the 4th round? Yes, But Islam Makhachev clearly won 3 rounds, at least the first three, and even outstruck Poirier in the fight. The knee up the middle. I don't know how Poirier didn't get knocked out during that fight, but that happened. And Islam Makhachev was putting combinations together, which I didn't think was gonna happen, but it just proves how good Islam Makhachev is. And then he went as far as to put a statement by submitting Dustin Poirier in a Darce choke. We had the whole thing with Poirier never being submitted in a Darce choke before. And I feel like this fight is being heavily underrated. All right. Now, you can use this fight as like a predictor for JDM versus Islam Makhachev. Like, if you're going to use this fight, like, of course you should. But at the same time, like, don't say that Dustin Poirier was old. Don't say that Dustin Poirier is washed with one hip, because all of those are true, right? Dustin Poirier is 35 years old. He had like lingering hip problems for a couple of years now, but that was the best Dustin Poirier we've ever seen. All right. Like, I don't think Dustin Poirier could have fought a better fight if he wanted to. And trust me, it hurts me to say this as a Dustin Poirier fan. All right. I literally have a t shirt of Dustin Poirier with me. I think it's in the washer right now, but still, like, I love Dustin Poirier, and it pains me to say this. But even though Islam Makhachev looked underwhelming because he didn't take out Dustin Poirier within the first round or so, he still beat Dustin Poirier pretty comfortably, which it pains me to say. But at the end of the day, Islam Makhachev, again, another reason why he's the pound for pound greatest fighter on the planet right now, technically, because, even if you think he looks human, he is still finding ways to win and eventually getting the finish against elite level opposition, like the Dustin Poirier who fought that night. And then last but not least, all right, Islam Makhachev is too small for JDM. All right. Now, the picture on the left is how a lot of JDM fans imagine the size difference between uh JDM and Makachev. All right. And I know this because I photoshopped this image and I posted it on my Instagram and my YouTube community yesterday. This is the actual picture, right? Like, they look identical in terms of height and in terms of like, oh, like the girth or like the broadness of the shoulders. Like, it's pretty similar. Like, I'm not gonna use size as a reason as to why Islam Makhachev might lose to JDM. Like, Islam Makhachev looks perfect for a welterweight, right? And I think this is gonna be a very good fight. Right. This is also similar to what happened with Canelo versus Crawford, where people were going like, "Oh, Canelo's just too big for Crawford over here." Like, not really. Like, no, that's clearly not what happened. All right. Am I saying that Makshev's just gonna dominate Radiant? Of course not. But if this fight is like competitive or anything like that, it's not because Islam Makshev's too small. Islam Makhachev, I think, is perfect for welterweight right now, and I'm very excited to see this fight this Saturday. All right, that's gonna be it for this video. If you guys want to see more videos like this, please make sure to like and subscribe so we can get this channel monetized. Otherwise, though, leave a comment down below what you guys think, and outside of that, I will see you guys next time. Peace.